Chris, oh goodness gracious, almost tripped. Chris, what are you up to today? Oh, trying to stay on my 2 feet. Today's task, getting the vent hood down. Very simple, 4 screws that went up into the cabinetry here. It is hardwired in. Some people do have an outlet up here, and then what they do is they just bring it up and plug it in. I'm gonna probably keep the hardwire unless it doesn't reach, because I don't want to run a whole entire new line. First things first, I'm gonna be safe. I'm gonna cut the breaker. I'm gonna double check it with voltage meters, because 120 volts to the hand is not gonna be good. Definitely do your due diligence. We're gonna bring that down. We're gonna try to reuse this for my custom hood. It sticks out kind of far, so I'm gonna see if I can cleanly cut it down right here and then insert that piece up, and then obviously mount it in a way where if you do reach up to try to hit your switches, or have like an external switch on the outside or on the side of it so it's not very visible, kind of a cool modern looking one, so you don't have to reach your hand up in there and potentially cut your hand if I do cut just this portion down right here, because again it does stick out a good solid 7 inches or so, 6 inches or so. Anyway, and then we're going to take down these not so lovely cabinets, have some room to work. That's the start of a beautiful day. All right, here's a better look at the range hood here. This is where I would cut it right down this direction here. So you just have the square portion, and then of course there's your wiring for your switches and all that stuff, so you can kind of, you know, figure that out. Again, not set in stone, that, or I'll purchase just your generic Johnny that's going to do the job on Amazon and put it inside my custom range. This is a newer range hood. It's not very expensive, but it's a newer one. Probably purchased at Lowe's. I have found receipts from the previous owner around Lowe's. Let's go ahead and look at this. This is not hot right now, but I do need to turn the breaker back on, but I will wire nut this. Make sure there's no exposed wire on your black or your neutral, and go ahead and stick one on the ground just in case. I mean, it's not really going to do anything, but just so it doesn't poke you. But you definitely don't want exposed wire, especially if you are working for several weeks. God forbid, if you do touch it, the wire nut cap will be on top of it, and that's okay to have it live. This is just nasty. This is original. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna take down, of course, this like I already talked about, but then we're gonna look underneath the drywall here and around this vent area to make sure there wasn't any water damage. There obviously is moth, nasty cobwebs, and goodness gracious, there looks like there is a spider, some sort of spider something or other in there. I am going to get a new vent cover for the outside as well, because that is probably the original, and it's bent, as you can see. So it's not supposed to have like an opening to it, and I'm not even gonna reach my fingers in there. I'm gonna get the shop vac out before, yeah, that's nasty. So let's go ahead and begin this. So this is what you address. You have to assume, and if you get lucky and if you're blessed, then you're not going to have any issues like this. And even if you do have issues like this, you're still blessed, because you can address it and fix it. And then you know your home doesn't have any mold issues or subflooring issues, because you fixed it. And you did that. Not a contractor, not a GM manager of the Westin Hotel. You did it. It's not going anywhere. There's things that I can't see that are mounted underneath. This is all pretty much gonna stay on there, but it looks like I'm gonna have to kind of pull it out of the drywall. I just don't want to hit this or have it fall behind me into my refrigerator. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be right back to the video, but I do want to thank today's sponsor, which is Manscaped. They have just come out with their Lawnmower 5.0, and this is the Platinum Package 5.0 Ultra. What you get is beautifulness all in one beautiful bundle right here. Let's start on this side here. They give you a body buffer right here. This is really nice. I have one in my shower right now. You put your body wash on there and you scrub away. That is included. You also get deodorant, which I also use. You get their body wash and you get their shampoo and conditioner 2-in-1 as well. Again, I use their body wash every shower. I use their deodorant. I use their body buffer. These are products that I use. Depends on when you're watching this. This is a great gift idea, and I'm actually going to be re-gifting this to someone in the friends and family circle. So, after all we just saw, of course, because this is the Platinum Package 5.0 Ultra, you get yourself, let's go ahead and start over here. You get your crop soother. You get right here your crop preserver. You get your Weed Whacker 2.0. This is an ear and nose hair trimmer. I actually just used mine today, matter of fact. They were getting a little bit long, TMI, but that's what it is used for. You got your little brochure right here. And of course, your brand spanking new Lawnmower 5.0. I have a full review video on this already on the channel. And what makes this one different is, again, this is the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra trimmer. You get your very short hair accessory for the top of your Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. We're not done quite yet, ladies and gentlemen. Underneath, you have your provided travel bag. Great for your overnight trips. You got your charger for both the Weed Whacker and the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, as well as your accessories, trimming guides in here as well. We are still not done quite yet. You also have some literature, and they also do give you a cool little like newspaper. You could put that down for your first use, trim up, and then chuck that in the trash after you're done. But they also give you a pair of their brand new Boxers 2.0, which I have many pairs of these already. Super soft premium boxers. These are in the black color right here, and these are a size too big, or I take these out of the package and keep them and then re-gift the rest, but those are size large, and so I'll go ahead and gift these out as well. You're like, Chris, that's a pretty sweet little package deal. I totally agree with you. If you want to get 20% off and free shipping on this package or any other packages, or you can buy these things solo if you want. If you want to get 20% off and free shipping, top link in the description box below will be my direct link. Use that link. You're going to head over to their website, and the 20% off and free shipping will automatically be applied with that link. Grab your gifts, grab it for yourself. They're great products. They do a great job. You'll thoroughly enjoy them. Thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. And now let's get back to the project. All right, we're going to stop here for the evening. We have cleared out this area here. And I honestly didn't get too much work done today, about 3 solid hours or so. It is a little bit difficult because I do full-time other YouTube work for the same channel, product reviews, etc. So lately I've been only getting half days in instead of 7 or 8 hour days. I'm getting about 3 to 4. Anywho, as long as you are on task. So everything is capped off, like I said here. All the outlets are working still, except for the garbage disposal. Didn't realize I disconnected it, but that's okay. This, they just ran it straight through the cabinet, didn't even go up and underneath. They just went up from the floorboard, footboard, and then straight over. Interesting electrical. Okay, we're gonna fix that, obviously. So this here tidied the area up. Unfortunately, after doing a little bit more inspection, it potentially could have been water coming in from the vent. The vent is probably original. Looks like hail has damaged the outside of it. It's cracked. It just definitely needs to be replaced. But regardless, what might have happened is it might have seeped down. And then as we can see here, let me turn on a little light. Little bit of, that's not mold. That's just, just dirt and debris. Like that's like dust. And then kind of like a water stain here. It looks a lot worse. I mean, it's pretty bad. So anyway, that right there is mold that I'll have to address. I'll block that off so Bria doesn't smell that stuff. All that black stuff embedded in there right there, that's mold. And then obviously there is a hole in the subflooring. So what we're gonna do tomorrow is I'm gonna replace this whole panel of siding. This again is original 1992. I have an extra one, and if you have the provisions, they've come down in price to about 40 a sheet. I'm not gonna skimp. I'm gonna go ahead and address this. Not to mention this area here, I think I'm just gonna shoot it with some mold guard. It's just some water damage, water staining. I think we're okay with the actual wood. I'll need to raise that vent anyway and move it up and over a little bit. So they framed this in perfectly for the stove vent to be like right in the middle right here. But I actually need to move everything down a little bit. I might need to move down that black pipe as well, which isn't that hard. We'll stay tuned for that one. But I'm probably going to raise the vent up and over right here. And the only reason I need to move it over just a tiny bit is I need to fit my shelving right here. And it might fit perfectly. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest with you, because I think it's the same size fridge. So I might not even have to move that black pipe over. But But what I'm going to probably do here is move this up or leave it the same, but obviously replace that. But we'll figure it out. Anyway, just want to keep you updated about that. It is now dinner time. Got an early morning bike ride tomorrow morning. So we're going to go ahead and lift some weights tonight, get some good sleep, actually practice French, then get some good sleep, and then we will bike ride. All right, folks, let's catch you up on the story of the day. We're looking absolutely fantastic. We have cleaned out. This is how you're supposed to do it. So shop vac will be your friend, and I'm going to probably cut down that black iron pipe so it's not sticking up the full way. Not to mention the side of the cabinet would get in the way, and it did get in the way of the old cabinets. So again, clean square all the way around. We do have an edge to put our subflooring right here, as well as all the way in the back there. I also used a little mold control. This stuff is really good, highly recommended, very good reviewed product. So this stuff I'll have linked in the description box below. It's in just a little spray bottle. I think they sell some larger ones as well. Eliminates and prevents mold and mildew, eliminates musty odors. So I'm definitely going to probably be using that when I get to that area. It's a little bit musky under there, but just in case more water slipped underneath, I don't want to tear up this whole footboard studs, so I just shot it underneath there, on the sides there, all over here as well, and I'm letting that dry. I've done that with a lot of other water penetration, and again, definitely a thumbs up in my book. Just spray it and let it dry before you seal up the walls again. Okay, so, and it dries very quickly, especially here in Colorado. Now that is not mold, that is dirt right there, but as you can see, it is drying. It's just dust, like right over there in the corner there. This is, again, a 31-year-old house. All right, so looking at this open area here, we do have what looks to be a hole in our vapor barrier. Underneath the vapor barrier, I did pull up some insulation that was kind of nasty, not to mention all of that sawdust when I was ripping it down. Use a circular saw and just ripped it straight this way. Use my oscillating tool to kind of get the edges, and so I can lay it on the edge right here, but I don't have an edge over here, so I'm actually going to build a block out, and I'll probably pull that nail. For some reason there's a nail there. Probably put like a 2x4 here and then a small block here, because it looks like they've already done that, as you can see there. And then this side I might brace it with another 2x4 just for kicks and giggles. The oven's going to be right here, so I'm not too worried about any squeaking going on here. Absolute worst case scenario, I might run another 2x4 this direction, so it's really nice and secure, and not to mention more, then I can run another strip of screws down that way there. Subflooring, I don't know the height of it, but I do have some scrap. So what we'll do is we'll measure out the square, cut it down to the appropriate size, and we'll go ahead and do that. So let's get the blocks out. You've seen me do that before. And then before, obviously, we seal up the top, we're going to shove some new insulation back down in there. How to resize your black iron pipe that is going into the back of your stove. And what happened was this, it was either the previous owner or the manufacturer of the home, but this goes below into the crawl space below right here. It connects to a elbow, and what you have to do is you have to use plumber's wrenches. These are very kind of large, heavy duty wrenches. And you have to steady the pipe with one while you unscrew it with the other. Depends on the year, it's going to be a little bit tight on there. Then we had a flex connector, a valve over here. We're going to show you that in just a second here. But what happened is where this tape was, that tape went all the way to the ground through the insulation into the crawl space, and then stuck up like really high right underneath the counter space. Well, I have a new oven, and I didn't want it right next to it, so we're going to cut this pipe, thread it, and so it goes underneath into the modern ovens. And so if you do need to turn off the valve in the future, you just pull the oven straight back, reach back there, and you flick it. Totally up to you, but that's the way I want to do, because this pipe again was sticking far out like this, and the oven was going to butt up right against it with a big gap in the back of my oven. So again, we're going to be reusing this flexible propane gas line. Again, this is just double threaded, but we need to resize it. So let me show you what Pops and I have conjugated out here. So I'm gonna redo my decking in the future, so I'm not concerned about drilling into it, but we have a nice pipe vise here, and I'll let Pops take over.
Well, basically we are going to cut this right above this green tape, which is what marks the length of what he needs to go down below. This is an actual professional plumber's vise that I picked up at a yard sale very cheaply. You can pick these up now because most plumbers don't use these except for what we're doing, black pipe. Then this is again another professional pipe fitting tool that I picked up at a yard sale.
All right, so we were just looking at the cutting length. Because of our valve, we're gonna double check the valve before we do cut this, because we're gonna thread it down, and right where you see the tape end right here, that's our subflooring. I'm still gonna add luxury vinyl plank on top of that. And so we want our valve to make sure it threads on and not interfere with the flooring. It's okay if we go a little bit higher and it sticks out a little bit more. Our oven gives us a good solid, probably 6 inches in the back that you can slip right over the top here. So Pops has grabbed the valve, and we're going to determine how far this is going to go down.
Well, this valve, it points toward the bottom. I'm thinking we need to reverse it and put it like this, where it'll be up like that. This then will thread on to what'll be down here. So let's take this off right now.
All right, we did our measurement with our luxury vinyl flooring plank little scrap piece there. Determined that we're going to be cutting about about an eighth of an inch above the green tape where we marked it here. So you have, again, the subflooring down here, luxury vinyl plank. We did our measurements so we could screw it on down here, gave ourselves a little wiggle room. Pops has clamped the pipe cutter around it. It's just a nice large.
Again, black pipe is not used that much anymore, and they use a flexible pipe similar to this. Is what we did underneath. We added a new line, but for this we're just replacing a piece, making it shorter. This is much simpler. So this is a rigid pipe cutter, and the way it works, you do 1 or 2 turns and then tighten it up like this. Go another turn or 2, tighten it up a little bit more, tighten it up a little bit more.
Cutting very nice and clean cut. Again,
far better than if you were to use a hacksaw or something like that. So you can rent these tools from places like Home Depot. They are expensive if you buy them brand new, but I paid virtually nothing. That was accumulating over years and years, so you can't exactly expect to find one when you need it. Almost there.
I'm going to kind of brace it here so we get a nice little clean break of the pipe. There we go there. Very simple. And do we need to...
Yeah, we need to ream it. Pipe reamer has an arrow. I'm not sure which way it was used last time, so we'll stick it in there and see what happens.
This is just getting the...
you can see the little curls of metal there.
Small little curls out of there. And then obviously we need to make sure that it's clean before we do thread it.
See, it puts a nice bevel on there. And I don't want to do too much with my hand here, but we'll clean that up just a smidgen more. This tool is made to go all the way up to quite large diameter. As you can see, it puts a nice bevel on the inside.
All right, so we'll take the tape off now, and then we're going to thread this and make it look like a stock pipe. And we just took a little drywall knife and cleaned that little goop off of there. This is just surface rust. This isn't penetrating through the black iron, so.
We'll be using thread cutting oil, which makes a very clean thread when you use it, so just put on some just like that. Then we use a threading device. Now, we're not in the sun, but this is 1/2 inch. Somewhere on here it says 1/2 inch. And I have a 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 1 inch tool that you can use to put right in there just by slipping that out, putting it in. That locks it in place. So this is made where you turn it like that and then you can back it off. So we'll slip it in this way because that holds the, guides the pipe. I may have to reverse it. Yeah, I'll have to reverse it. So I just do this. Now, just kind of hold it to start. See how you can ratchet? Once you get it started, then you don't have to hold it like what I'm doing. You don't want to thread too much. You want to do it like about there. I think this one is threaded slightly more, but we'll thread up to about here on this new pipe. And it's not difficult. You can see where it's cutting in there. And I'm about ready to back it up, break the chips. See how you break them? And then I'll back it up a little bit and you can see how much we've threaded so far, which isn't much. It's just started. So we'll reverse the tool, put it back in here, pick up where we were, put some more goop on there, threading. Just now starting to thread where we were. again, it's not difficult, as long as you have a good vise to hold it, because that does put a lot of tremendous torque on it, and it will turn if you try to hold it any other way. Many large old-fashioned vices have this kind of a teeth in the bottom of the jaws, but again, and then sometimes stores like Home Depot will thread one free for you if you take it in, and they're not real busy. We're gonna back it out again. You don't have to back it out all the way. You can kind of see how far I've gotten. I only need to do just a little bit more. Pipe threads are tapered. We finished our threading process. A bolt thread is the same, non-tapered all the way up, and you can see there's a slight taper here, so as you tighten this down, it seals it completely. We're going to put pipe goop on here, and that's basically it. The key is use plenty of oil.
That does make it a lot easier. All right, so this is, I'll link it in the description box below. This is pipe thread sealant number 5, multi-purpose for black iron. This is what this is used for gas, and of course the propane application that we're using as well. Now, you don't want to gunk it on too much, but a nice thin good layer, and then we put a very thin layer inside this. You don't want it getting actually inside the valve here, and then we're going to go ahead and hand thread it on. And we use this on the tankless water heater, no leaks whatsoever. We're going to go ahead and tighten it up with a couple wrenches now. One time we did use regular plumber's tape for the tankless water heater, and I actually had a drip until we put the pipe dope on number 5, and this stuff seals really nicely. Also, I use this for behind the shower walls because I just don't trust plumber's tape for long term. I'd rather use number 5 pipe dope for behind tile applications where you have no access to it to check on any sort of leaks. Of course, I did check before I did seal up the walls with tile, but we'll give it a go, nice and tight. Beautiful.
We can wipe
that's going to be again the top there.
Here.
We'll wipe a little bit of that excess off, and we have a beautiful little seal there. Now we've put some leak detector. This is just kind of the gas detection. It's a solution. There's other better methods, but for quick and simple, this is a way to detect a leak. It will produce air bubbles, and so what you do is you just put this all the way around it down below, and if you start seeing air bubbles, then you have a leak. So I'm going to go ahead and apply another application to it. Propane is now on. Obviously the valve is closed coming up through it. You would be able to detect a leak down below here. Again, number 5 pipe dope is really high-end stuff. I really like it. I'm also going to go down below to the elbow where we connected it down there as well. And then do make sure that you do your turn appropriately. I am going to be putting sheetrock drywall behind this, so you want to make sure you have access to your valve without interfering. And it looks like we're good to go, even with potentially I might have to scratch the half sheet I was going to put over the top, but I think that's good. Okay, after giving it some time, I don't see any air bubbles coming out, which makes me nice and confident. There are some other gas and propane leak detectors sold on Amazon, but also just your sense of smell as well. But for added protection, just in case, I like to see no air bubbles myself. I'm gonna go ahead and clean the floor up just a tiny bit. Leak detector right here. I'll try to link this in the description box below. And that's looking absolutely fantastic. Now again, the sheetrock is gonna go behind it, and we will have the yellow flex cable also going on top of that.